Hello guys, we are back at it again with the PPG round 5. And we have Drytron this time, a deck that everyone's been asking for.
Yeah, Austin's been asking for this deck. We made sure to go ahead and find one. This guy's actually 3-1, so he's doing really well. Hopefully, we'll see him go 4-1 and into the top cut, because I have to familiarize myself with this deck as well.
Yeah.
He's playing against someone we saw on stream earlier, Melvin, which is on his Eldlich deck. So it'll be interesting. We're going to see a little bit of new meta versus old meta and see which one comes out on top.
Yeah. I think Drytron has the favorable matchup here for sure, as it's the combo deck. And if it goes first, it kind of just auto wins.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And then the ability for the Drytron deck to play past turn 1 out of its graveyard is really big.
Yeah.
When there is only really 2 to 3 copies of YuGiOh, you only really have like 2 or 3 cards you can banish.
Yeah. The deck can grind forever. It's very good at playing against slow decks.
Exactly. It doesn't have to kill you turn 1. It can just play really slowly. And Melvin doesn't look like he has that good of a hand. Setting 3 again. We've seen Melvin draw very awkward hands. Those could just easily be 3 more droplets.
That's what I was thinking.
So hopefully those are not 3 droplets and just one of them, and then in combination with maybe like a Scarlet or something like that.
Yeah.
Cyber Emergency, one of the best search spells in the deck.
Yeah. That's any Drytron.
Hopefully we don't see any betas for the Drytron names, because we're not trying to recycle our banished cards.
Yeah, hopefully we don't.
Yeah. Let's see what piece he's missing, because maybe we can gather information on the rest of his hand depending on what he adds.
Yeah. So he could grab alpha. There's a lot of different things that he could search depending on the hand.
I
search
think
is
that,
delta.
Okay, I don't really know them very well by picture, so you're going to be helping me out here.
That is the reveal ritual speller monster and draw one.
Yep. This one's really good to just like get you to see more cards to figure out which way you want to take your hand.
Yeah. It means his hand's probably very strong already.
Yeah, he didn't have to search alpha, which is really good, or gamma, which are both of the really strong ones as well.
Honestly, if you're searching that one, like your hand's probably like 4 Drytrons.
And having 4 Drytrons is just insane. He might as well also have Nova, because Nova is also just crazy to draw.
Yeah, I think we just saw 3 Drytrons and Ben 10 in hand.
Oh, really and strong. Ben 10. Ben 10's just crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Melvin definitely has interaction. He probably has an Ash is what I'm thinking, because he thought very hard on the Cyber Emergency. Ashing Drytron is like kind of good, but if they have multiple names, it's the same thing as Virtual World, where they're just going to keep going and it's not going to matter.
Yeah. Also, if you Ash this and then have no way to apply pressure next turn, they're just going to do it again next turn.
Yeah, it's the same thing we saw with Kamal when he played against Melvin. He just passed turn and like used the card again.
Yep. He just tried to Ash alpha like it's a non-summon effect, but the effect all resolves.
Yeah, it all resolves in once like the Virtual Worlds. I thought he was trying to Ash the Ben 10 for a second, which in my personal opinion I don't think is that bad of a play. So you cut him off of his like Ben 10 engine and the Ben 10 looping.
Yeah.
If he does have a way to like prep, then I guess it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah. But this is like we were saying, like people don't know how to play versus Drytron, and this is a good example. Now Ash is going to be a known card.
Yeah, and if the Ash, like, it's not going to resolve since he let the effect go through already. The Ash is just going to be played around, because it's not that detrimental for the Drytron deck specifically when it has so many cards that it wants to pop. He has double Ben 10 in his hand. Wow. Yeah, so 3 Drytron names and double Ben 10. It looks like Kevin's going to have a big turn.
Yeah. So they let the Ash on the effect in hand resolve. He's going to Crow the effect engrave. But he still just has another Drytron and Ben 10.
This is what we were talking about, just having multiple names, and like holding the Ben 10 until now was huge, because he didn't give Melvin the information that he has a way to extend past with just one name.
Yeah. Also, not using the Ben 10 early makes it so that way he can't just get hit with like a Crow or YuGiOh.
Yeah, he played around that Crow really well. And like at that point, he forced Melvin to have Sanguine YuGiOh, and see, he's just looping the Ben 10 again now.
Yeah. He also has Eva in hand, which isn't that good.
Eva's not that good, but it could be worse. It could be used to make the Union Carrier, which is definitely a play, so he can at least resolve its effect. Get him access. If he main decks Purple Light, that would actually be really good right now.
Yeah.
We did see some, or at least I've seen some lists online playing multiple Purple Lights in their main deck just to be able to counter so many trap decks.
Yeah, a lot of people play at least once, that way they can search it off Eva.
Yeah, in case they know they're playing against a trap deck.
Yeah.
And we see the search for Manji, so he wanted to get access to his ritual engine.
Yeah, he's gonna add the ritual spell there.
Yeah, this ritual spell I think is crazy.
He said 40 versus 40. No idea.
We
can't
don't
see
know.
the deck size.
We'd hope it's 39 versus 39 realistically,
Yeah.
because you love to see that. I know for a fact most virtual world players today are probably going to be on 39.
I hope so.
Yeah, I would hope the same thing with the Drytron deck. It's similar ideas where you just want to see multiple of your engine cards just continue playing.
Yeah. You just want to draw the best cards.
Yeah, and then we see Union Carrier. This card's probably going to get banned.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, this card went from being like broken with Dragon Buster to now it's going to be broken with Dawn Knight. Yeah.
The card's just going to keep coming up over time. Like we saw it make the Dragon Link FTK
Yeah.
a while back.
It's also really good to just like tutor certain cards, like the Dragon deck would tutor Lancey out of its deck and then Seal bounce it back to its hand. That was a really good play.
Yeah.
Then you could also use it in like ABCs, the deck it was meant for, and it's really strong there to search Galaxy. And there we see it, Purple Light. So this is what I was telling you, that like I was pretty sure he was main decking Purple Light, and this is huge.
So that was the draw off of Delta.
That was insane. There couldn't have been a better draw to have there.
And he discards the Eva with it too.
So he's getting so much out. He's going to get access to Herald now. He's playing around, or Herald of Orange Light most likely, because I don't think he'll play a second copy. He only has to play around one more back row, and if that's Aquero, like, this game's probably just over. Or if it's Droplets even, because he only has one more real interruption.
Yeah. The thing is, like, even if the Eldlich player does, like, get ahead this turn, and the Drytron player just passes, he still has so much next turn.
Yeah, we saw he had 3-4 names, and just using the same names next turn, we know he has access to Ben 10 as well.
Yeah.
So we know next turn's going to be an even bigger push if the game just doesn't end right here.
He could also be searching the Cyber Angel level 2 off of Eva.
Oh, the Petite Cyber Angel.
Yes.
Yes, that's a really good card as well. We've seen people splashing that into their decks as well.
Yeah.
Just a lot of good generic ritual support.
Yeah. It's just also another way to get to Ben 10.
Yeah, and we see Melvin chained Ice Dragon's Prison targeting the Eva to not let it resolve. But this is kind of like just delaying the inevitable since you can just swing into it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately it wasn't that good of a play, but it's just Ice Dragon's Prison is not very good versus the Drytron monsters right now.
Yeah. I think he was just losing this game no matter what.
Yeah, it seems like he's really behind with his cards right now. Like, if he had access to any zoo plus his opening, it would have been great versus most matches, but Drytron just...
Yeah.
It has a really easy time playing through most of the back row right now since they don't really interact well.
Yeah. He's also using the Platinum Rare Dawn Knight. Gotta make sure.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you don't draw that Dawn Knight. And when you do, your opponent will know.
Oh, yeah.
The best rarity, right? So we see here, I wonder what he's going to send with his Dawn Knight now, because I think he had access to all his Drytrons, and he has Eva on the other side of the field.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't really, like, see the graveyard.
Yeah, we can't see the graveyard here, but he only has one card in hand, so it's another Ben 10, so this is going to give him another resource. And unfortunately, he normal summoned already, so he can't get the Majesty's Fiend out right now.
Or the Vanity's
Ruler. Vanity's Ruler, that one. But he won't be able to. He will be able to get resources available for the next turn.
Yeah, I mean, you can still do a lot here compared to his opponent having almost nothing.
Oh, he knows Melvin's on nothing. He got hand trapped twice out of his hand, and then he flipped his 3 back row, so he knows Melvin's playing on the top deck.
Yep. He still has like 4 Drytron names engraved.
Yeah, this game just seems unwinnable for the Zoo deck at this point. Like, I don't even think a Zoo top deck would be strong enough.
Yeah. He's going to summon the Alpha off of the Gamma. The Gamma should also be in defense.
Yeah, he's most likely going to use it to link summon. I would think so. But yeah, if we see them going into battle phase, that's something we're going to have to correct.
Yeah. I mean, he could. Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, and then Natasha. Yeah, I think he's just dead here. Like, he's just going to link climb with the Natasha most likely if he has access to a ritual spell.
Yeah. That should be game.
Yeah, Natasha's so broken. It's just another one of those cards that's like generic ritual support.
Yeah, that card's insane.
Yeah.
Like, without that card, going second with the deck would be much harder.
That card lets you go second into so many boards with, like, so much comfort.
Yeah.
Because you can throw cards at your opponent until you just have access to Natasha, and then you clear their board, make access code, and kill them.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're gaining enough life to where you're not getting killed on the follow back.
I actually think Melvin should have admitted defeat a little bit ago.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting some insight on the matchup.
Yeah.
Yes, but he's definitely wasting time. I guess for game one, it's not awful because it seems like he's not aware of what his opponent's doing for the most part, especially the way he was interrupting him. So he definitely wants to get insight of what he's trying to do, his end goal. And he's not really getting much information out of here. And is that the Gamma?
Yeah, the card that should be in defense.
Yeah, so I'm going to go make sure that... Go ahead and fixed.
Alright, we'll be right back.
Yeah, so we're back, fixing that quick little error, putting the Gamma in defense position. Nothing too big, but just making sure that no extra damage was dealt.
Yeah.
So we see him here making the Herald Link. I think this card's really strong and underrated. This card just being able to give you back resources, not only from your graveyard, but also form as a negate is crazy.
Yeah. Like, the card's a negate, and then if they out it, you get to add back from grave.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's kind of like this deck's version of Seal, in a way, because it makes it so you get a follow-up after your disruption.
Yeah. I wonder if they made sure to take the damage from Ben 10 effect. A lot of people forget that. I was just making sure that it could be sent to any graveyard since he did attack Eva with it. Eva does have a defense, right?
I think Eva does. I'm not 100% certain.
I mean, I'll just check real quick. Yeah, it does. Kind of look like 200 defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, 200 defense. So
Yeah, just those small little things. And there we see Melvin admitting defeat.
Yeah.
There was just no way he could come back from that. And then Kevin also had a Herald of Orange Light in his hand, so any monster top deck wouldn't have done anything. Like Zeus wouldn't have been as great because you Zeus twice, but then they just destroy it, so you can't Zeus on the follow-up. So the side decking is probably going to be very awkward for Melvin since it really looked like he didn't know exactly what was going on in the matchup.
Yeah.
Which is 100% understandable since the deck just came out.
There is a chance that he did like follow recent tournaments and build his side deck for Drytron just because it is legal for this event, even though he doesn't know how to play versus
Yeah,
it.
we saw the Crow in his main deck is definitely a sign that he's at least somewhat prepared for the matchup because Crow interacts decently well. It's not the best hand trap versus the deck by any means, but it definitely puts in some sort of work by removing a name or stopping Ben 10 from triggering.
Yeah, a very good card in this deck is Cycle Reader.
Yeah, Cycle Reader is really good.
You have to be able to out the Drytrons. You can't let them keep grinding. And then also with the ruling that was updated a couple months ago, how you can hit the Ben 10 out of graveyard when it's distributed for cost.
So it's really strong. Like hitting one of the graveyard effects and the Ben 10 gives you like a +1, essentially, taking that many cards from your opponent because it's just a resource they're going to use to grind every turn.
Yeah.
So for when do you droll? So you typically want to droll them like after their first search for the most part.
Just as soon as possible.
Yeah, you can't really get gammaed in that deck on their turn because of the restriction of the Drytrons. So like if they do gamma you, you're not really afraid of many of the Drytron plays, only if they're just going to be going like pre-prep, Ben 10 summon out Herald and passing. Yeah. That's like what their deck's going to.
And that's like their best hand.
Yeah, and that's like a crazy hand.
Yeah. So Droll is very good versus Drytron. Yeah,
Droll's really good. But the issue with Droll is you have to be able to capitalize on getting another turn. So if you're drolling the deck and then just not killing them or not putting up disruptions, you're not really accomplishing much, but taking a card out of your hand, in my personal opinion. Because then you're just giving your opponent the same amount of resources to beat your hand with one less card.
Yeah. I think I would side it going second in Zoo, just because if they go first in a setup, you lose. But going first, if you droll them, they just pass.
Yeah.
And then you still have the same amount of interruptions as last turn.
Oh, going second, yes, I think so, because like you just lose to their combo, 100%. And you can just have a lot of like defensive like Zeus plus like 1 or 2 trap cards if like needed, or like a hand trap in case you didn't use it since you drolled them would be good enough.
Yeah. So DB Grinder knows? What do I know?
DB Grinder knows that it's a bad format. I don't think Droll's an indicator of a bad format.
Yeah, definitely not. The format isn't that bad right now.
Yeah.
Before the ban list, I would say it was.
Yeah, the
pretty
format was
bad.
really awkward. There was no real deck that had like a comfortable edge versus every matchup. So like
Yeah.
you had to get very lucky. And looks like they're all done siding. So let's get back into this match.
He said, "Who's playing next? We don't know who we're gonna choose for the next feature match yet."
Yeah, so we try to take it round by round and just see how they're doing. If you guys have any specific requests for the next round, feel free to leave it in the chat so we definitely know who to look forward to.
Yep. So we're seeing him set 3 pass and get his Harpy's Feather Duster.
Damn, this Harpies is big. Melvin once again not being able to do much.
Did he just chain walk Hero? It still gets to grave.
It still goes to grave, and now he's not going to be able to use its end
Yeah.
phase effect. Wow, this is just a really big misplay,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And this, wow, this Harpy's put in so much work. This shows you why this card had to come back off the list, like especially with so many good back row.
They're just reading it to make sure it still goes to grave, but it's still considered a trap.
Yeah, so Melvin now has 2 responses at most, and we see Ben 10, Cyber Emergency. I think I see a prep at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, and then a name.
Alpha.
And what's the last card in his hand? Does he have a Herald of
It
Orange Light in his hand?
doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it doesn't matter, but like he
Yo.
might have Ash. I think you might have to Ash the Ben 10 instead of the Alpha. I don't even know. Like
Like
it's
if
so
you let
hard.
Alpha go through, then like it searches Ben 10.
But like if you let Ben 10 go through, it just like searches Manju or like searches
Yeah. Or even just another Ben 10.
Yeah. Like it, or it can search Orange Light. Like his hand
Yeah.
must be that crazy if he's searching Orange Light right now.
Yeah.
He's like guaranteeing that the next card in Melvin's hand is not resolving.
Yeah. I mean, Melvin's already on 1 card.
Yeah, the same thing happened last game. He wasted so many resources like outing initial cards, and this time it's not even like he just got Harpies, and like that shows you that card's crazy.
Yeah. He did side in Cosmic too, or at least kept it in. So was he trying to hit like the field spell with it, chain it to the ritual spell?
I think it would be towards the field spell, but I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, that's not.
If there was multiple
Good.
targets to it, it could be decent. Like I understand hitting the ritual spell, but that's like
decent.
yeah, decent at best. Like I'll take that game 1.
Yeah.
Game 2 and 3, I'd rather have a better card, like whether it be like an actual trap card or maybe another hand trap. Even if it's not as impactful as you'd want it to be, I just don't think Cosmic does much versus the matchup.
I agree. Melvin also doesn't know the matchup.
Yeah.
So putting in something like Cosmic to hit the ritual spell may seem big to him.
Yeah, since he probably thinks they loop it a lot since it comes back from the grave. And he has Purple Light in his hand as well.
Oh.
Plus
that
prep.
is
Yeah. So
nasty.
he's making sure that any card that Melvin draws is not going to be able to resolve, whether it be a monster effect or a trap effect. The only thing would be better if he had Heralds of Green Light in his hand as well to just be able to stop anything Melvin top decks.
Yeah. What combo is he going for here? Because you're going to have to normal summon one of those now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think he should have grabbed Maju.
That's what I was thinking. I thought he was going to grab Maju and then grab another way to play, and then he gets to go into Dawn Knight, and he gets to summon out the Ben 10, trigger out the Dawn Knight. Like,
Yeah. And it is in defense.
I think he got one step ahead of himself and searched the Herald as protection for the Cyber Emergency and didn't realize that, like, he wasn't going to be able to play through.
Yeah. So he's going to bring out Ben 10.
Okay.
So he might be doing that just that way he can prep now and add back the ritual spell for free.
Yeah, he can do that, and then, like, he can activate it again and summon the...
Or he wouldn't be able to because he wouldn't
Oh.
have a machine.
Oh,
'Cause, yeah, the ritual spell makes you tribute machine.
That's right. That's why you have to tribute the Union Carrier.
Mm-hmm. So the prep is going to be adding here.
Yeah,
Have to
Prep's
think
such a
it's
good
Ben
card.
10.
Yeah. That's fine. He's just making sure he has follow-up for the next turn, because this way he has a way to activate purple and activate orange in his hand and just leave his opponent on nothing.
He's using Wakero when he used it this turn.
Yeah, he used Wakero this end phase, right?
Yeah, he used it to summon Chain Harpy Feather Duster.
And it looked like the Haquera was actually chained, but they were discussing between the judge that's there on the table and Kevin whether it would be destroyed or not, and that was the question he was like wondering before he decided to activate it. That was the interaction we were kind of curious about and making sure it was taken care of, so there was no illegal plays going on.
Yep. Always best to make sure there's nothing
Yeah,
bad
of course. We
happening.
want to make sure the game state's legal and proper, because once Melvin draws a card, it becomes really hard to repair the game state.
Yeah.
The judge being there definitely helps, but it's still you don't want to have to go through any of that hassle.
Yeah, you'd have to hope the judge remembers what card you had in hand.
Yeah, or the card you drew.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think Melvin's still like in a very hard position, because knowing what we do about Kevin's hand, there's not a lot of cards he can draw right now.
Yeah, like having Ben 10 plus Drytron's engraved is a lot.
Like yeah, I think the only way like you survive is like I think Eldlin, because it's the only card he can't negate right now. And like Eldlin pay 8, it's like it's annoying because you know you can die next turn, and then
He's gonna try to Scarlet. He's gonna get hit with Purple Light. So now he can normal summon a Zoo.
yeah, if that was a bait, that would be a really good bait.
Yeah.
Wonder what the other two cards in his hand are. Man, another card that would actually be pretty cool is I think it's Soul Release, the one that banishes all the 5 monsters from the graveyard
Mm-hmm.
for Drytron post turn 1. That'd be really cool. Or like Fiend Comedian, something cool like that. That'd be
Bro,
awesome to see.
imagine.
Yeah,
That's like the Shadol thing that we saw Avery do.
yeah, exactly. Just playing like ways to disrupt the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Like different cards like that give you an advantage in such a graveyard centric deck, where every deck really uses it. Doesn't matter what you're playing.
I've been playing the Eldlich 60 card deck for fun, and I side deck into the Shadol things.
Yeah,
And
I've
you need it.
been playing just the Shadal deck for fun, like with traps, and that deck like you can get so much advantage off just like Servant, because you're like discarding your Shadal cards, gain advantage. You have like 4 card set for free.
Yeah.
It's just, and the trap cards just carry you this format. Like going second, you don't really have to care about much. That's an FDK.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see him Ash again now, but Melvin just setting a monster. This is not a really good sign.
So he's adding Maju off of the Ben 10.
Yeah, and I think
he changed Scarlet.
okay, which I mean is fine, but
Yeah. Oh,
does
he has
it-
Red Reboot in hand too.
yeah. I don't think it's going to change much. He has the Ritual Spell, Ben 10, and now he's normal summoning Manju.
Yeah, I mean Red Reboot's not gonna come up, but it's cool that he drew it.
Yeah.
That and Harpy's Feather Duster in one game.
Yeah, those are two of the best one-ofs in the game. Definitely going second for versus trap decks. I wonder what he's going to go for now, though. I'm not sure how many names he has left in his graveyard that he hasn't used this turn. Looks like there might just be one, so if that already got ashed, he might not have too many plays right now.
I think he does have another Drytron engraved that he hasn't used this turn.
Hopefully. He's getting access to Natasha. That card's just crazy.
Yeah, once that card goes off, it's game.
Yeah, he's just having it ready in case he needs it at any point now. From the
Natasha is also really good in like real life play like this because it gains you life points.
Yeah, for time, it's relevant. It's extremely relevant. You can go into game 3s comfortably, going first or going second, and just summon Natasha and be like, okay. So yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to keep going, making the Union carry. Yeah, and I really think this game's over. Like, once you get this far and your opponent's not really responding, you know what the set is. You
Yeah.
have Red Reboot. You know he has a set monster. Like, I don't know what monster that set can beat your board at this point.
Fossil Dyna.
Fossil Dino would be cute, but like if you summon Herald of Ultimateness or like he searches a Herald of Orange Light, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. The Platinum Rare Dawn Knight going in again.
Yeah, the Platinum Rare, best rarity. Shout out to Aaron Furman. I know he loves his Platinum Rare cards. But yeah, his deck is just going to be able to get so much value now.
Yeah, putting Ben 10 on board, and he's going to get the Sun Gamma here.
Yeah, and we saw this deck go second both times, playing through backrow, so we didn't even get a chance to see the Drytron deck go first and build a board.
Yeah, sadly we also didn't see Melvin draw any starters in
Yeah,
any
well,
game.
This has been like a pretty big trend with a lot of the Zoo decks. They're just having issues getting to their engine, and
Yeah.
maybe it's the way the DB algorithms work to drawing Zoo cards, or I don't know, but it's just has not been Zoo players' days today.
Nope, he's going to add Lancia off Ben 10 also.
Yeah, and that's gonna be like big. It's just gonna prevent his opponent from like taking one more turn to get set up, so Kevin just has an extra turn of effects.
That
Natasha wasn't
even
successfully
ritual
summoned, correct?
Also, doesn't it have to target a face-up monster? I mean, there's just so much wrong. Like, we should just go talk to the judge. It wasn't even. Yep, we're back. We just had to let them know that Natasha couldn't be ritual summoned, or couldn't be summoned because it wasn't ritual summoned.
Yeah, our head judge was answering some appeals around, so he wasn't paying attention to the match at the moment. He got back exactly when I did. Yeah, so we want to make sure the game state stays legal for you guys and just for them in general. We don't want to be giving you guys footage that you can't really learn anything from.
Yeah. Now we're going to see him just keep going anyways.
Yeah, at this point he's probably going to link climb and then take the monster and link climb.
Yeah.
This deck just excels at doing that and clearing boards.
I still don't think it's game, though.
I don't think it's game, but he's leaving Melvin on nothing once again, and he's just going to do the same thing next turn and then the turn after that. Like, Melvin's just top decking one card every time. I think this is a really bad play. I don't think he should have Phoenix popped the back row.
The set was known.
Yeah.
Like, it was set this turn on
You knew it was there was no reason to set that to pop it because now you give him access to Scarlet for the next turn if you don't kill him.
Yeah. So he has to be going for game then, if he is popping that.
Yeah, let's see. He doesn't have a way to take another one of his opponent's monsters, so like he could be making a Boral Sword, but like without a monster, that's not game. An access code that's at 43 is also not game, so not pretty sure what he's going for.
It's not good, but
I mean, he did do and he did do some damage last turn. So it's not awful, and it's a card that's not easy to out in one turn unless he top decks a zoo monster.
Yeah. This is a lot of pressure because that's 43. And
yeah, and I guess with the reboot in his hand, it's not too bad because he can guarantee that on the following turn he swings directly with access code. Because he's just going to pop the only monster on the field if he draws into one.
Yeah, that's game for sure. Because Natasha's live in grave too now for the Ben 10 in hand.
Yeah.
So he's setting Scarlet from Decadent phase.
Yeah. I mean, drawing a zoo monster here would be great.
He really needs to draw a zoo monster.
Yeah, drawing Tenki here would be insane.
Yeah. Tenki would just be like the best card you could draw.
Yeah, wow. And yeah, Tenki is insane. I can't get over like a zoo monster in a simplified game state just does so much.
He still just loses out to.
I think he loses to the Drytrons in the grave anyway, but it's the only real card he could like draw to like have a chance.
Yeah, try to come back.
Mm-hmm. It looks like they're just clarifying game state or what's going on.
Yeah, just making sure everything is legal. Was that 3 Ash that Melvin
Yeah,
drew?
I think we've seen Melvin draw a lot of multiples. I'm a good friends with him. He does not have the best luck when it comes to drawing an even hand. I see him draw multiples a lot. We've seen it on stream too. And that was double Cosmic set, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his hand was full of all multiples. That's a spell. I mean, it's a start. Chris Eldlich, in theory, would be really strong if his opponent didn't have reboot.
Yeah. But then, like, even then, you still lose the Natasha effect.
Yeah, I just don't think the situation's winnable, and I think Melvin's finally seeing that. It's like, even if Natasha wasn't there, he has Ben 10 and 3 Drytrons in the graveyard. So, like, it didn't even matter.
Yeah. If he does somehow come back and win this, though,
that would be crazy. Yeah. The only way I'd see it, like, he'd have to go, like, Scarlet, it get Ash, and, like, Tactics take the access code and, like, have that be lethal.
does have cursed. Yeah, he had to go for game this turn somehow.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's going to be possible. Because, like, your best ad here is Aquero. Or, like, you're forced to add Conquistador because of the access code.
Yeah, just add it, set it, and then
You have to
lose the
shotgun it.
reboot. Yeah.
Even if you shotgun it, like, you just still lose. I mean, at least we get to see what the Drytron deck does going second. Like, a deck that people probably thought, since it's a combo deck, can't really do well going second. We've seen it clear multiple back row 2 games in a row.
Yeah. Natasha is
Yeah.
just incredible.
Yeah,
Even though that's like wasn't the key card this game.
There's so many cards in that deck that it can abuse that Ritual has support for. Like, Ben 10's a really strong card. Natasha's really good. Like, the Megalith cards, we haven't even seen those, and those could just be insane as well.
Yeah. The Megalith cards allow you to go for some insane boards. You can make crazy boards. You can go Beatrice, set order.
Yeah, you can make a Phantom. You can send it back. Or you can add it back with the Mega Phantom Beast.
Nope.
It's really nice. There's a lot of different plays you can do with the deck.
There's VFD combos that are still running around.
Yeah, and then we know the Vanities one as well.
Vanities, the TG draw combo.
I haven't even seen the TG draw combo, but that sounds insane.
It's like draw 4.
It just sounds like the Eldlich Synchro deck again. Like, drawing multiple cards is just unfair.
100%, especially when you're playing like hand traps and extenders.
You're playing hand traps, extenders, and then cards like that just give you +1s. And in a format where like you don't need to just blow out like your whole load turn 1. You can just grind with your opponent. I think Melvin probably knows he can't win this game, but it's just like making sure he's running through every possibility through his head.
Yeah, there's some games where I think there's no way I'm winning, and then I just win because my opponent messes up.
Yeah, so you have to put yourself in the position to win. 100%.
Yeah, if you just admit defeat, you're not winning that game.
Yeah. Like, you can play to not win, or to not lose, or you can play to win. And I think Melvin right now has to play to win. Like, he just has to put his opponent on misplay.
Yeah. He has misplayed earlier this match.
Yeah, and we
so
see he's not too familiar with the cards as well, so let's see.
Wonder what he drew for Jim.
Yeah. Oh, another Ben 10. It's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna matter, honestly. Melvin's not even shotgunning the Conquistador, so I guess he's just.
Yeah, just access code pop it.
Oh, and there he drops the reboot.
Shows the reboot and Harpy's Feather Duster in one game.
Melvin's probably gonna concede at this point. Yeah, there we go.
Handshake.
That's the match. So it was decided by one-ofs, but those were just crazy one-ofs that'll decide any match. It didn't have to be the Eldlich matchup. It could have just been like pure Zoo, or it could have been just any trap deck.